What is up, my ninjas? I'm Strident, and today we are taking a look at the Imaginext Superman and Doomsday. I've been promising that we would go back to the Imaginext stuff, and finally we're here. So, what I wanted to do was take a look at this set that came out a long time ago. I mean, pretty much my little Strident found it with his mom when they were visiting our in-laws in Minneapolis. It hadn't dropped here. I want to say that was like the last summer or the summer before, something like that. I think it was last summer. And it had been a hassle to find this thing, and he had really been looking forward to it. So I figured, you know, once he gets it, we'll make this a big deal, and I'll hurry up and get to reviewing it. But you know how things go. But we are here. Imaginext has been killing it. They're only now getting into a stage where they're kind of lazy and they're reusing, you know, figures and just repainting them and shit. You know, I've seen that with a couple of the Superman releases and Aquaman and stuff like that, and it kind of fits the way they've been doing it. But these here represent some of their best work as far as being relatively relevant. You know, at the time that this came out, we had just been, you know, New 52 was just wrapping up, so this kind of fit because it's the New 52 look. But it's the situation from the 90s when Superman, the death of Superman, which many of us know of, and our kids might know of if they've been watching the DC animated films, you know. And my sons both have seen them, seen the death of Superman, or Superman Doomsday as it was called, and they also have read through the comics. So they have an idea of what makes this a relevant set, because, you know, in most of our minds, we know Superman he's the shit. You just can't kill him, you know? So, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the good, the bad, the ugly, as always, and I'm going to tell you what makes this a set worth picking up if you see it. Oftentimes, these days, if you see it in the stores, probably Targets, Walmarts, etc., it's usually on clearance because it's been out for a while. But we're going to go over all the details as usual, and we're going to let you know what makes this worth picking up, worth being part of your collection, and, you know, if even after all that time, it still holds up today. So, you know, sit back, relax, get something to drink, something to eat, and here we go.
Sculpts and paint.
Wow, so someone seems to have crashed the party. So, who are you?
I'm Will Strident.
Oh, you had to think about that for a second, huh? So, what do you feel about this? You're the expert on Imaginext. What do you feel about Superman and this Doomsday? Are they cool? Are they awesome? What's up with them? Tell me.
They're cool.
So why are they cool? Tell me why.
Since they're awesome.
Why? What's awesome about them?
When you put them in the sour, the paint doesn't tip off.
That's cool too. That's really cool. What else? Like, are all these Supermen cool? Does he look cool like some of the other Superman toys you have?
Yes.
He does?
Yes.
Tell me more.
He looks different.
Why is he different?
See, because that Superman is different than that Superman, that Superman is different than this Superman.
Why? What's different?
He has a scratched up costume, and he has an armored costume, and then he has no armor. He only had the regular costume like he had
In the regular comics, yeah.
Yeah.
What about his face?
His face is different. He has super vision, and they only have white eyes.
Wait, what's wrong? What's up with his eyes? The one in the middle?
His eyes are red, and their eyes are white.
And he's also angry.
Yes.
Because fighting Doomsday was really hard, wasn't it?
Yes.
So you can see each one, you know, the armored one is the happiest one, but, you know, the others are kind of like different, you know, kind of one is mad, one is not so mad, one is happy. Now, what about the size? Is Doomsday the right size? Is he supposed to be smaller than Superman?
No.
Oh, so he's supposed to be bigger.
Yes.
Okay. And do you think he looks strong and scary?
Yes.
I think he does. They did a good job with that. What about the costume? Does it kind of look like a costume you've seen in the comics and stuff for
No.
Doomsday? Mm-hmm. What do you mean no? For Doomsday. Remember, because even my Doomsday has those colors and wears all that stuff. When he was locked up underground, he was wearing this green suit. And in Superman, his suit is ripped because during the death of Superman, Doomsday punched him and it broke his costume, it ripped his costume. So it's a hard fight, right? Doesn't it look like it's a hard fight? What? Go ahead.
Doomsday has some sharp knuckles.
Sharp knuckles. What about his hair?
Hair is
Is he bald or does he have some hair?
has some hair.
Yeah, and he looks like the one like mine. We're gonna show them more about the grown-up Doomsday in just a little bit when we get into the comparison part. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Overall, they got everything that the the grown folks, versions have. His knuckles. He's got spikes everywhere.
Yeah, and he has some red things on his costume.
Yeah, the little lights on this. These things were part of a apparatus that was used to hold Doomsday's arms behind his back and hold his legs together so he couldn't move. And he broke out of it, and this is what's left of his suit. It's what you're seeing here. Now, and it's kind of funny too because, so years ago, when you remember Daddy was collecting the DCUC, the DC Universe Classics, and they told us that we weren't going to get one like for the big boys. But then they made one and it was partially this green suit. It was Doomsday all covered up in green. And then they said, oh, but this kind of Doomsday where you can see his face and his knuckles and stuff, pretty much the one that I have, they said, oh, we're not going to give that to you because, it would be too expensive. So if you buy this one, then we'll make the other one. And then now they make the Imaginext and they make it a combination of the two suits because that's what he looked like in the comics. So in some ways, Imaginext does some things cooler than the grown folks toys because grown folks that like this stuff are making it, right?
Yeah. So Superman is like smaller than Doomsday.
Yeah.
And Doomsday is bigger than Superman.
No.
And
is he tougher? Like, do the toys feel tougher? Like, does Doomsday feel tougher than Superman?
Well, he's stronger than Superman.
You think he's stronger than him? Okay. Because he was able to hurt Superman. Yeah? Then he's probably really close to being stronger than Superman. Now, when you play with them, do you think that they're really awesome to play with?
Yeah. Sometimes when I play with my other toys...
No. I want to know only about these, because we'll talk about the other ones when we review them. But is it fun to make Superman fight that Doomsday?
Yeah. Since whenever I play with them, the paint doesn't chip off.
Yeah, that's important. So what about when you make him fight your Justice League?
The Justice League paint doesn't chip off either.
Well, I know their paint doesn't chip off, but like, how is it to make a big Doomsday? Like, Doomsday is one of the worst villains that Superman has ever fought. He killed Superman. How is it when you make him fight your Justice League?
Because he's Superman. And
No. How is it when you make Doomsday fight Superman and the Justice League? Does it look scary? Does it look like he's big enough to actually take on the whole team?
Yes.
How? You tell me. You're the Imaginext expert, remember?
Yeah. Because he's big enough and they're small enough. So he can take out the whole entire team.
Really?
Yeah.
So when they fight, does he always win, or do you make them win?
He always could win.
No, does he always win? Do you always make Doomsday just kill the whole Justice League? I don't think I've ever seen you do that.
No.
Let's speak up. No?
No.
Oh, okay. So you make the Justice League win?
Yes.
And do they win and don't get hurt in the process?
They kind of do.
Yeah, I think they'd get hurt. So that's cool, though. What about when Superman and Martian Manhunter and Green Lantern all hit him at the same time on Wonder Woman? Can this toy take it? Can Doomsday take it?
No.
He didn't break.
Well, he also get hurt.
No. I know he gets hurt, but does the toy break?
No.
Because the toy is tough.
Yeah.
Remember, you're the expert. You got to tell me. Because you play with Imaginext more than me.
Well, so what the thing is with these toys is, they can only sit down.
No, we're not on articulation yet. We're talking about the how tough the figure is.
So the figure is really tough since when you hit him,
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
when you hit him, it's like really good since he doesn't fall apart.
So Doomsday, you're talking about.
Yeah.
It doesn't fall apart. Okay, that's awesome. So would you tell other people that they should get this and make them fight their superheroes?
You should get this.
No. Would you say that? Like if someone said, "Hey, little Strident, I saw this Doomsday figure that came with a beat up Superman. Should I buy this?" Would you say that if you buy that Doomsday, he's gonna smash all your other toys?
Yes.
Oh, that's what you would tell him? What? Really? He's that tough? Wow.
Let's compare.
Okay, so we're going to compare this Superman to some others. I mean, we kind of lightweight did that earlier when we compared him to two of the other New 52 inspired Superman figures by Imaginext. But we have those same figures again. Let me get everything situated. I don't know why I am screwing around with this right now, but we are going to compare them. So this is the first New 52 style Superman. He came with the Hall of Justice. And as you can see, this is the Big Boys DC Collectibles New 52 Superman. And all the panel lines are there, the belt matches, the boots match. The only differences are the sleeves and the shape of the cape. But as you can see, sculpted details are there. It looks just like the Big Boys version, doesn't it?
Yep.
And that's cool. So like that's another plus when it comes to Imaginext, is that you can tell that the people who are making these figures, they're adults that like the grown-up stuff, but they want to do it in a kind of smaller, cooler way that doesn't quite leave out the kids, the little kids. You know, they want to have figures that look like what daddy or big brother or mommy or big sister have. And now they get that, except they get them in small size so they fit in their hands. And I think that's what's awesome about Imaginext. Don't you think that?
Yes.
That's cool. Your Imaginext are easy to play with, right?
Yep.
How easy?
Because you can
You gotta say it loud so they can hear you.
Because you can sit them down easily.
But they're easy for you to move around in your fingers. They're not too big. You gotta say it louder.
No.
Oh, okay. Let's see. We have more comparisons to make, but these two are the most. What's the word? The most similar in design. It's almost like they're the same body, which they probably are, with slightly different paint, and the face on the one with the ripped suit is just slightly different. But I think it's nice that they fit like that. I mean, what do you think it's cool like that?
Yeah.
Does that look like the same figure, but just one smaller, one bigger?
Yes.
What else? What do you see that you like about them looking the same?
The black hair.
That's it? Superman has black hair, you know that.
Yes.
All right, well, what about, we'll compare more details on the two. But I mean, you're just looking at their faces, you can just see it's the same shaped face, just such a different expression. Do you like the happy face or the mad face?
I like the one that came with the Doomsday.
You like the mad face?
Yeah.
Well, you do play with that one all the time. Why do you like the mad face so much?
Since, because he came with Superman, couldn't find him.
Oh, because it took so long for you to find him? Okay, remember, you gotta speak louder so we can catch you on the thing. But, what about, you don't like the happy Superman? Being that Superman is usually kind of happy because he's here to help? Or is it because he has red eyes that means he's using his heat vision?
Well, I like the happy Superman.
You do? But you don't play with him as much.
This is how the other one.
Oh, okay. All right, let's compare Doomsdays. Now, This guy is huge. He is crazy, like mean looking. His knuckles are very well designed, the bones and stuff. But it's cool because he really resembles what Doomsday is supposed to look like. It's like they didn't dumb down the design too much from what he's supposed to be for little kids. I mean, the spikes aren't as sharp as the ones on mine, but I mean, you look at them and there's no mistaking that both of these are supposed to be Doomsday. Look at those big old hands with the knuckles, you know?
Yeah.
Big old hands. So it's cool to see that the two figures are so similar. And they're close in size almost, you know, considering, you know, which one is which. Let's talk about his gimmick. What does this Doomsday do that, you know, because all Imaginext that have a power pad, they do something, right?
Yeah.
So if I was to put a person on top, what happens?
Only his arm moves.
I don't think they can hear you.
His arm moves.
Yeah? Is it a punch action? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a punch action. It's kind of like, meh, you don't really need that because, you know, if you have an imagination, you can make the figure punch. Because I see you do it all the time. You make Doomsday punch people and they go flying around your room. He's nodding his head like, yep. But it's a cool little action. And he had remember he had a big steel girder or something that he could bend or whack people with? I think you lost that. But yeah, that's the gimmick.
Bottom line.
Yep, we are at the bottom line. So first, let's talk a little bit about power pads. Do you really like power pads?
No.
You don't? Why don't you like them?
Since
Speak up so that they can hear you.
because they always make them and they seem that like kids need them, but I don't.
You don't need them? Why don't you need them?
Since I can just move his arms.
Exactly. So he's like me. I don't really like gimmicks, and I usually don't use the gimmick. So, you know, if it's a power punch or something like that, yeah, you should be able to use your imagination to get that stuff going on your own. But do you think that the toys themselves are really well done? Speak up.
Yes.
They are really well done. Superman looks awesome, and you know, you can get some cool poses out of them, even though they've got very limited articulation because they're kids' toys and they want to stand up to, you know, heavy play. They look good. I mean, you can see I got them in these poses fighting and stuff, and it still looks good. You can still emulate the serious kind of stuff that goes on with, you know, big boys' toys and whatnot. So yeah, would you say this is a quality set?
Yeah.
Cool. So I am Strident, and this is Little Strident. You probably couldn't hear him because he's being all quiet. But yeah, and that's our story, and we're sticking to it. This is a really good 2-pack. When they were hunting for this years ago, it was hard to find, and then it's become increasingly easier to find. So if you see it, pick it up. You will not be sorry. And, you know, just as another really good example of what Imaginext are all about. So anyway, that's it for us. You've been great, and thank you for listening. We will see you on the next video. Peace outside. Thank you for watching my video. If you enjoyed what you saw, please give it a like, a share, let your friends know. Check me out on social media. All the links are in the description. And if you really want to help me out big time, jump on Patreon and support the channel. Every little bit helps, the smallest amount to the largest amount. And last but not least, check out my comic, War of the Gods. Issue 2 is on sale now on Indie Planet, and the links are in the description. It's some superhero fun, and as a smaller independent book, it needs all the views, all the eyes on it as possible. So check it out, show it to your friends. Every view helps greatly. And yeah, that's it for me. Thanks again.